follow the money.
That's what I always say. You always follow the money.
Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard on VSiN.
Welcome in. It is Follow the Money here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. This show is brought to you by DraftKings. We're live in downtown Las Vegas from the Circa Resort and Casino. One more sleep until the start of the Masters for 2024. We have plenty of coverage on the program today, including Jeff Seeley with his best bets in an hour, Wes Reynolds, who's a golf betting dynamo here at VSiN, back end of the show today, and Pauly, tons on the NBA as well in the final week, final couple of games. We have another busy schedule tonight. The schedule overall is bizarre because, again, the no games on Saturday, this coming Saturday, no games this previous Monday due to the national title game in college basketball. So now it's all kind of condensed, and a lot of these teams are playing back-to-back tonight. But you think you know what's going to happen in this sport on a daily basis? You want to follow the money in this sport? If you tried to follow that yesterday, bankrupt. And I lost a couple of bets on the Suns last night.
Well, it did pretty well, though, with that, other than the Suns game. I don't know what that was. That's inexplicable. You need the game. It's 35-4.
That's the one that stands out like a sore thumb to me.
I mean, yeah, from 3.5 up to 9.5. No Kawhi, no Harden. And you come out with your so-called big three, and it's 35-4 Clippers late in the first quarter. Oh.
How does that happen in the NBA? To me, that's worse than a 30-0 run in college basketball.
Yeah.
You're paid millions upon millions of dollars, and there is kind of, it's important, right? All of these games for a team like Phoenix are important because you want to make the playoffs. You don't want to be in the play-in, and potentially the reward there is to play the Nuggets at some point if you can squeeze into the 6. So they have to have all these games. Just because you have to have them doesn't mean you're going to win or cover. But you come out like that flat, that's almost like the Game 7 game against the Mavericks a couple years ago.
Yeah, that's impossible. With Booker, Beal, and Durant, you have 4 points at home in the first 9 minutes of the game. And the other thing is, the Lakers are probably going to get the 10 seed. The Lakers are still 10 games over 500. So while we talk about, can you believe this team and what their seed's going to be, it's not like they've had a bad year. They're close to their win total, and they're 10 games over 500. It's hard to overcome injuries and the horrible luck that you happen to take on Minnesota and Golden State, and you don't have Davis for both games, essentially, and LeBron got sick, and then you have to overcome Darvin Ham putting a ridiculous lineup on the floor, and Golden State hits 26 threes. But imagine if the Suns can't even make the playoffs. They're all in with their payroll and what to bring Beal in, and how bad. It's almost like no one wants the 8 seed because they know, and the biggest game of the season's tonight in Denver. Mm-hmm. But it's like, well, we have no chance against Denver anyways. What's the difference? But this is just, some of this stuff is bizarre, what's going on.
Yeah, they're all paid professionals, so how does some of this stuff happen, though? Right? The Suns are supposed to be a good basketball team. They have a lot of talent on paper, and you fall behind by 31 points before you can blink in the first quarter against some backups for the Clippers?
Yeah.
What? There's no Kawhi, there's no James Harden in the game?
Got to respect your opponent.
How do you come out like that?
Yeah, after what you did at home against the Pelicans.
That's another one, yes.
So now you're to participate in the play-in. Looks even better now. You got a great opportunity because now they have to close with all 3 games on the road. And guess what? Now they go to Los Angeles, and they're favored. Now they play again. They take on the Clippers.
Yeah.
I know.
Tonight, right away.
And the Clippers wrapped up the division. We gave out 6-1 on the air before the Harden trade, so that's good to cash that. But I don't know. That's a tough one. It's like, what do you do with the Bucks tonight? Who knows?
So I lost a couple of bets on the Suns last night. Do I come back? So is it this simple? Did I happen to be on the Suns the wrong game because of the Clippers clinching last night? You could just say, well, what do they have to play for tonight? And the Suns come out, and they absolutely must have this game now, basically for their chances to get the 6th seed. Bet them again tonight?
Yeah, I'm going to take the Suns, but I don't have a lot of confidence in it.
Honestly, I like to tell you I'm going to as well. I don't know what to expect.
Well, sure. It also comes down to, you got to want it as well and not disrespect your opponent. So the Clippers, again, could come out with their hair on fire. Westbrook could have a triple-double. He's all about energy. And then, maybe the backups knock down some threes, and next thing you know, you're in another dogfight. So this is, what do you do with Milwaukee? I mean, should that line be as low as it? You're playing in Orlando, huge game. Milwaukee can get like the 4 or the 5 seed now, and then plus they could take the court with bad news. We find out what happens with Freak.
So I think a lot of people, I think we would know right now if it was the Achilles, right? A lot of people saw that last night, and right away the first reaction was, please, oh my God, tell me it's not the Achilles.
I thought it reminded me of Kobe Bryant. At the time, when Kobe blew out his Achilles, and he turned around to Harrison Barnes and said, did you kick me? But it's right, it's supposed to be calf.
Yeah, right, just the calf.
Right, but how bad is it? Does he miss the first round? Is he back next week? Does he miss half of that series? I don't know.
Do they win their division?
It doesn't look good. That's another one.
The Pacers can still pull this off. And, oh, by the way...
Yes, they can.
When I was looking at the division prices over the weekend, the best number I saw on Indy was 14-1. Other books did not even offer the Pacers. Yep. They were just thinking that they have basically no chance, so they're not going to put them on the board. It was only between the Bucks and the Cavaliers at certain books I looked at to win that Central Division.
I never considered that until last night because they only have 2 games left. They go to Cleveland Friday, and it's not that hard. They just went out. And the Bucks lose out, which is possible because the Bucks have to play Orlando twice, and they have to go to OKC, and probably you're not going to have your best player.
And so, who knows how badly OKC is going to need that game?
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah. They might need it in the worst way, or maybe they don't care at all. But still, what do you think of Milwaukee if they don't have Freak? I never considered Indiana, and you can find 11, 12-1, and that's definitely doable and in play. So we'll see what kind of news they get. But, it was interesting watching the game because what is Boston doing? How do they treat this? So they set a ton of guys, big movement there. Milwaukee goes off a 3-point favorite. Bucks are in total control. Mm-hmm. And then the injury happens. And they were saying all the right things about we think we're going to be okay come playoff time because we're big, we're physical, and the game slows down. And they think that'll benefit us. And then the injury happens. Mm. So that's you got to wait and see what happens and what's the status in the update there. The thing I cannot believe is I was watching that game. Our kids, our children, we'll never see this again. 2 free throw attempts in the game.
Combined.
The Boston Celtics did not attempt a free throw. There were 5 free throw attempts in the All-Star game. The previous low, I think, was 12. I don't care. You could live till you're 250 years old. You'll never see that ever again. That'll never happen again in NBA history.
They are the first team in history.
Yeah.
Can you believe that?
Yeah.
To shoot 0 free throws in a game.
Oh, I believe it, yeah.
Last night.
2 for the game. I know.
And of all teams, the Celtics.
Of all teams. Yes. And it's not like it was like a 160 to 155 game. Well, I mean, that doesn't even matter, I guess, where you just think there's got to be someone going attacking the rack and getting fouled.
They did, however, the 2 teams combined to shoot 89 threes last night.
Yeah, hello.
And the Celtics shot more than 50. So that I tell you that they were just relying on the threes and maybe not getting to the rack that often. But even there was no fluky foul at all, enough to get them to the line one time.
Apparently the officials had dinner reservations because they never blew the damn whistle.
Oh, it must have been one of the fastest games in NBA history, honestly.
There were hardly any fouls called in the game. So 2 free throw attempts and everyone's shooting a 3, and then it's the in-play dream with the under. And cash your ticket, no problem.
So with that Lakers loss now, again, like you mentioned, 10 games over 500. They are a half a game up on the Warriors. Do the Golden State Warriors end up at the end of the year with the 9 seed, Lakers the 10, and they're playing that game in San Francisco?
Yep.
That's what's going to happen?
And that's why the Lakers are now minus 265 at DraftKings to miss the playoffs. That has changed big time now.
Oh, wow. That's a massive swing.
Yep, that's what it looks like it's going to be. Because the Lakers only have 2 games left. They have to go to New Orleans on Sunday. But it's probably they lose the tiebreakers. They're probably going to have to go to Golden State. If they win that game, you're going to have to beat a Phoenix, a Sacramento, or New Orleans, and then your prize might be, we have to play the Nuggets in the first round.
Yeah.
They were playing good ball. It was just horrible luck and timing. LeBron gets sick. Davis gets poked in the eye. He can't play. They take 2 losses. I guess Sacramento could lose out, but stranger things have happened.
Well, the way it's going with that team, I mean,
they have let go of the rope. They were up 20 last night and lost the game.
That's, again, another spot where the team has to have the game, in theory, right, to avoid the play-in so they could potentially land with that 6 seed overall and then be in the playoffs. You're up that big in control of OKC. I will say that the Thunder have been a great third-quarter team for a long time because they play Shea like almost every minute of the third quarter, and they came out with their hair on fire after halftime last night and blew the Kings off the court and got right back into that game. But that was just pitiful. This team, again, you thought you had a pulse on the Kings a while back.
Yeah.
In play. Where's your in-play pulse with this team?
I know. Well, the injuries are, losing Monk was big as well. So, I know. The other thing is what Brunson continues to do night in, night out. I mean, like, every time you look up, the guy has 40 points.
He will be very popular to win the MVP next year.
Yeah. And certainly the Knicks can get the 2 seed now. I mean, they go to Boston tomorrow. Who's to say the Celtics play anybody in that game? The door's wide open for the Knicks now to get the 2 seed.
It's absolutely crazy.
Sure is.
Now, you mentioned the biggest game of the season. I totally agree, is tonight in Denver. Both these teams were playing. Minnesota's got to fly in after a dogfight against Washington last night. Denver was on the road against Utah. They come back at home. They're up to 6 at DraftKings. Wolves are 6-6 ATS in a back-to-back. Denver 4-8 ATS. And the Wolves are 10-2 to the over in this spot this year.
What do you think? They pounded them March 30th. They pounded them at Denver. Minnesota has the tiebreakers.
Minnesota matched up well with this team.
Yeah, the Timberwolves win this game. They get the 1 seed without Towns.
Remember, last year when the playoffs were done, Nuggets players said the Wolves gave us the most difficult series.
Yeah. Good observation. And no Aaron Gordon. So 6 might be a little much.
All right, up next, there is a report that suggests the Chicago Bears turned down a massive package for the number 1 overall pick. A lot of picks were involved. They said no. Wait till you hear this doozy coming up on Follow the Money. It's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
"24 hours away from the Masters. Start your morning with a daily dose of winning strategies, insider tips, and the latest buzz. Free VSiN daily newsletter. Bill 80 up early. Sends out all the articles and the Wes Reynolds pick. Expert analysis, latest odds straight to your inbox. Absolutely free. Everything you want with the Masters. VSiN.com and VSiN.com/newsletter.
Remember last year, the week of the NFL draft, when we were told via the internet and this post on Reddit that watch out, Will Levis might be the first pick overall in the entire thing?
Yeah, told his cousin. Yeah. So-and-so told him he's going to be the pick. Done deal. Yep. Odds went crazy. Yep.
Sure. He crashed down big time the week of. Not close. Didn't happen. He fell to 33rd overall in the draft. So it's definitely line season. You need to be careful here. What you believe, what you don't believe. What's a lie, what's not a lie. We were tagged on this tweet earlier this morning. It's got like 400,000 views. It says, breaking news. The Bears rejected a trade offer from the Commanders for the first overall pick. Washington offered the second overall pick this year, along with the 2025 and 2026 first-round picks. Ryan Poles has zero intention on trading the first pick again. He wants Caleb Williams. End of tweet. And I don't buy it for 1 second.
No. All these reports and rumors the last couple of weeks are similar to what's going on in Kentucky with stuff that's reported.
I want to point out that when you see stuff like this and you're going to be trying to bet the NFL draft this year, make sure if it's like from Adam Schefter, click on the profile. Make sure it's the actual guy with like 11 million followers, not the Adarn Schefter or the guy who might have an extra character in your name that you might not recognize right away, or Ian Rappaport. Any reporter, make sure it's the actual person on the account, because you're going to start to see more and more of this immediately. As soon as I saw this today, I'm like, come on, this is not a thing. Well, it never happened.
Puzzling behavior. I'm driving in today. I see a report. Looks like Drew's going to take the Kentucky job.
Okay.
And you click on it, and it's a parody account. It's like that's just to be able to say I got you one time. I mean,
sure. This is all correlated, right? Because you can bet who the next head coach is going to be at Kentucky.
Yeah.
So what do you believe? What do you not believe? Again.
Yeah, it's like with Washington at number 2. The Brian Kelly line, or they don't like May, they like Daniels. They want now. With all I'm hearing is McCarthy going second.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, it depends what day it is. It's absurd.
Stuff changes. So this whole Kentucky story now with Calipari going to Arkansas, and then who is Kentucky going to get now after him? Some people have said that Dan Hurley will not even, forget about it, not going to be on their list because they can't get him. Other people connected to the Kentucky program and to that area have said he's absolutely number one. Some people in and around that program said they've already, like the offer is going to be $10, $11 million per year. That's the starting point.
With NIL money and like a 5, 6, 7 year deal. So again, it goes back to, well, your wife can say whatever she wants now.
Yeah.
Until Ted DiBiase's on line one. How high can, it's a great program, but you can't compare Connecticut to Kentucky when it comes to how high can Connecticut go? If Kentucky says we'll give you $12 million a year, and UConn can only go to 6 or 7,
that's a big deal.
I mean, yes, it is.
That's massive.
And then generational wealth.
And then what if Hurley says no to? Let's say the report here is absolutely spot on for like $11 million. He says no to that. Kentucky says, okay, we're going to find that price then. What about $15 million a year? Like at some point, that number is going to be so large. You're exactly right, Pauly. The wife is going to look at him at the house and say,
"Yep,
we are buffoons if we don't say yes to this deal." Mm-hmm. Do you realize what we're going to do here at UConn compared to 15 or maybe even more $1 million per year?
Now, the people there, the insiders, say the pecking order in terms of who they're calling in order would be Hurley, Donovan, and then Drew. Mm-hmm. But the thing with Donovan is, how long does the Bulls season go? And then you better get an answer from his agent, because what if Hurley says no, then you move to Donovan, and then Donovan said, well, how late in the process are you then?
Oh, yeah, then what, you're going to wait till the transfer portal is closed?
Now, the Bulls just might come out. I mean, if you saw the shenanigans, I've never seen this before. They had a 3-on-0 break, and they blew it. I mean, we'll get to that win-lose, but it's just the look on Torrey Craig's face. A guy tried to dunk the ball, throw it off the backboard. He blocked his own shot. So at that point, Donovan's probably saying, get me out of here. I mean, Kentucky line one. But
I think I watched that highlight or low light 100 times last night. I couldn't stop laughing. I could not stop laughing.
What are you doing? It's like the second quarter of an NBA game. You're not up 30. You're throwing the ball off the backboard, and your teammate blocks your shot, essentially. So maybe their season ends next week, and you get helped out there. But then maybe it's Drew all along, because Hurley's not going to leave, and you don't want to do Donovan, and Donovan may be saying all the right things. They're going to stay in Chicago, which I don't know why you would want to stay in Chicago when you see they're happy to be in the play-in every year.
Right.
Doesn't make any sense. But there's Matt Jones, where the list, Hurley, Drew, Donovan, I'd be surprised if it got past 2. So, again, is the report accurate that they're coming out? The initial offer out of the gates is going to be $11 million a year,
according to reports.
Yeah.
So again, if they can't go as high as like 15, if they don't want to do that, and Hurley says no, which I actually expect that's going to happen. I don't think Hurley's going to take the job. I think he's going to be back at UConn. I think that's where Matt Jones is right with this, where if Scott Drew is in fact number 2 on their list, and again, he was even money to take the job for the last 48 hours basically, I don't think he's going to say no. I think he's going to be right with that. And I think Kentucky's going to get Scott Drew as their head coach. What would you make of that move?
That's not bad.
It's okay?
Yeah.
Would you like Donovan?
Yeah, I'd like Donovan more. But, every coach has early exits and first-round exits. But what Drew's done in Waco has been nothing short of miraculous.
Sure.
I mean, he inherited a horrible situation. Google what happened there.
It's rock bottom for any program.
Yes. So he's and getting the new arena and to win a national title and make deep postseason runs. I would go Hurley, Donovan, Drew if I was ranking it, but it's not. You can't go wrong. I think if that's your guy and he's your third choice, that's not bad.
So then, who do you believe between John Calipari and then some of these other reporters of what actually happened? Calipari came out and he sent out a 3.5-minute video message yesterday on X. And he basically said that the program needs to hear a new voice, which I'm like, wow, he can actually admit that. That's probably right. They do need to hear a new voice, and good for him to actually acknowledge that, to want to move on. So then you heard that he's going to take the Arkansas job. But then when Arkansas offered him the gig, evidently there's more to the story. Here's Dick Gabriel, who's connected to the program. He does some of the broadcasting down there. He talked about how Calipari came back to Kentucky and wanted a counteroffer.
Calipari, going into that meeting with Mitch Barnhart, didn't have much leverage. Mitch had the leverage. But now when you've got somebody else in your corner who is a viable candidate for your services, I mean, if, a junior college came and tried to hire him, no. This is Arkansas, powerful school with deep, deep pockets. and all kinds of booster money out there from Tyson Chicken and Walmart. They come in and say, we want you and we'll do what it takes to get you. That's leverage. Calipari, as I'm told, said, here's what it's going to take to keep me. And UK said, I don't think so. And so as I understand it, now the deal, if it isn't done, it's going to be done.
So the reason why that was a big deal down there to the local folks is their point was to retaliate back at Cal. You already have a lifetime contract.
Mm-hmm.
What could you possibly counter with?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, they already said the job is yours for as long as you want it. You're going to be an ambassador for the program whenever you step down. Well, that's not going to be the case anymore. So what was he going to ask for after failing this many times as a head coach and losing early so often?
Yeah, poor timing on his part. You just got beat by St. Peter's and Oakland in the tournament. And the only reason you're still around is because you had a $30 million buyout. So it's like, yeah, I can't. What else can I give you? I've offered you a lifetime deal.
Amazing.
I can't give you anything more, and your stock's is low in terms of Kentucky fans. But that I believe, because Gabriel calls the games. I believe that. The other one I found interesting that was floated out there was he just did this to just put it out there about, hey, I'm good coach and people would want my services. And then it got so late down the road and further down the road in the process, he's like, oh my God, I actually might have to take this job now. How it worked out. Maybe I could see that. But going to get introduced today. Wild how it's what has happened here in the world of college basketball.
It's actually I find it kind of refreshing because to me we've been ripping on this guy for a long, long time, and a lot of those in mainstream college basketball media will just by default say, "Oh, Calipari, a winner. He's such a great coach." This is John Calipari basically by default admitting that he has not lived up to expectations. Because, again, if he won more than what he has at Kentucky, he wouldn't be leaving. There would be no reason for the program to need a new voice. But for him, he's basically saying, without saying it, I failed. I did a really bad job on the court.
Yeah.
And you know what? I was here for 15 years, and I don't want to do it anymore. I don't want to be embarrassed. I don't want to feel the pressure anymore. It's kind of what he's saying by the program needs to hear a new voice.
Well, it's going to be bad there, too. I mean, it's the same thing. Musselman went Elite 8, Sweet 16, and now you're going to pay him all this money and have $5 million in NIL money set aside?
That's
and if
right.
he goes out early, and it's going to be the same thing about, it's going to be buyer remorse.
So we have another loaded NBA card tonight. Julian Edlow is going to join the program. We'll try to make sense of the betting numbers that we have of the games coming up next.
Limited time offering 2 weeks of our exclusive betting splits for free. Just sign up. VSiN.com/splits. It's updated with DraftKings odds every 5 minutes. You can check out future events as well. Limited time offer. VSiN.com/splits. I know the public crushed it the last week and a half in the madness. Betting splits came in huge there. Don't strike out on potential winnings. VSiN.com/splits.
We'll try to go through the weeds here of the NBA schedule tonight very early on in the morning to see what we can with the numbers to find some winners. Julian Edlow joins the program now. You can catch his show on VSiN and DraftKings Network weekday mornings at 8. It's called The Sweat. Julian, good morning. Thanks for the time. It is tough. I mean, look at some of those losses last night by teams in the association that absolutely have to have these games. And now we have the biggest game, I think, of the entire season here to close out the final week. It's in Denver. Nuggets hosting the Wolves, the division, the 1 seed on the line here. Minnesota's 2-1 straight up against the Nuggets on the season. And those Nuggets players admitted after the playoffs were over with last year that the Wolves gave them the most difficult series out of everybody. Nuggets are laying 6. What do you think of that number?
Yeah, this was a whole lot easier last week when I could just come on and give UConn and you got a winner. Now we got to sift through the last week of the NBA season. But you are absolutely right. This game is meaningful to both sides and one of, if not the biggest games of the regular season, going for the 1 seed in the West. Minnesota does give Denver problems. And not only these two teams, but pretty much all the teams we're going to talk about are on the second night of back-to-backs, all playing Tuesday. Denver was less tested, I guess, last night. Minnesota was pressed a little bit by Washington. Anthony Edwards went off for a 50-point game. in this spot, I think this is, the rest of the games we're going to look at are all spots, and they all have different motivations. This is a clear-cut motivation. I'm going to take the better team at home and assume that Denver, is interested in getting a game like this. Whereas if they were trailing in the standings a little bit more, you can kind of just wave the white flag, give it to Minnesota. They're in position for this, so I'm going to trust them at home, even though Minnesota's been a little bit tougher of a matchup for them. That this team that is coming off a championship can kind of rally and say, all right, let's get home court here through the West. We have an opportunity to do that at home against a division rival. And it looks like so far the betting splits agree. They've been laying it with Denver. 6 is getting close to where I would cut it off. 6 is probably about as far as I would go. Can also maybe try and use it as a money line parlay piece.
Okay. What do you want to do with the Boston Celtics moving forward in the regular season? And they play the Knicks tomorrow.
Yeah, they have been super unique. If you've been watching them, they've clinched things by a mile. But they are not resting guys necessarily. Al Horford and Kristaps Porzingis did not play in Milwaukee, but Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown got a healthy dose of minutes. Derek White and Drew Holiday were out there playing, so they're kind of playing both sides of we're not going to sit these guys. We're going to rotate some in and out and give them some time, but we're also going to give other guys opportunities to close games. So last night in Milwaukee, they were down enough in Milwaukee that you could justify, they wouldn't do this in a meaningful game, but 6-7 minutes left, down double digits, they benched the starters. But they did the same last week at home on Friday night against Sacramento in a game that they were up big. They did it with 9-10 minutes left in the game, and Sacramento came back and had a shot in the air to win the game. Celtics still won it. Essentially here, they're going to play their guys, and they can maybe even get up on teams. They could be up tomorrow night at home on the Knicks, 10, 15 points, and decide we're not playing Tatum, Brown, Porzingis. We're not playing any of these guys in the fourth quarter. So they're the perfect team right now to live wager on if you are watching, because you have to see when these rotation moves are happening. But they're in an interesting spot where they're playing these elite players that have gotten them such a big lead for chunks of the game and then just going away from them altogether. So they're a great team to live bet on right now. Yesterday was the first time I finally started scooping up some Eastern Conference tickets on them. I've been saying all year, if they're healthy, I'm going to bet them to win the East. And coincidentally, that night, down goes Giannis, and the numbers move a little bit.
Yeah, so based on that injury, and I'm not going to speculate, although it did not look good with Giannis. We're going to find out more about the injury later on this morning. They're at home against Orlando. Milwaukee can still lose this division. The Pacers can win the division. If they go 2-0 and the Bucks go 0-3, Indiana wins the division, which is like mind-boggling. But here they are. So no freak tonight. They're a 1-point dog at home to Orlando. And Orlando, they were never in that game against the Rockets last night. What do you think here?
Yeah, I'm going Orlando on the money line here. A little bit more of a spot play. Again, Orlando's coming off the loss. They're battling for position at the 2 seed, 3 seed. Bad loss in against a Houston team that is now falling out of it. So they need to get this one. And Milwaukee, this is a down spot. You're coming off a big win, even if the Celtics didn't want it. You're coming off a big win against the Celtics, a team that you want to beat at home, stop the bleeding of all those terrible losses in a row. But you lose Giannis, and now you got to play on, I know it's at home, a little bit helpful the second night of a back-to-back as well. Orlando, a little bit younger of a team playing on these back-to-backs. I just think Milwaukee's got a lot going on now. It was nice for them to get one in the win column, but are they going to be able to recover and bounce back quick enough with the Giannis cloud hanging over them against a really good young Orlando team just a night later? I say no. So I liked Orlando a little bit to begin with. And then once Orlando lost and the Giannis injuries kind of all came together as a spot that screamed Orlando for me.
All right, breaking news from Shams. He's avoided damage to his Achilles. Giannis' his return to play is based on treatment and rehab response for a strained calf. So You know, do you get, is he back for the second round? Does he miss the first round? How do you maneuver and how do you treat this if you might take on Milwaukee? And certainly, do they blow the division now as well? Great job by you. You laid 3 with Dallas. Dallas is in Miami. No, looks like no Hero, no Robinson. And Miami's coming off a double overtime thriller. They won in Atlanta, and the Mavs had no problems last night. Luka with another triple-double. It's up to 6 now. What do you think of Dallas and Miami now?
Yeah, so Dallas and Orlando were the 2 that I played last night as kind of rare overnight NBA spots for me. The move, I mean, I knew this one was going to move. It had to move because as I bet it, I'm watching Miami play in double overtime in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Miami is the one team that it's like, so you mentioned, Pauly, the guys that they're expected to be without, but Miami's also the one team that could just say, like, you know what, let's get these guys fresh for next week. We're not going to play Butler. They could decide that this afternoon. And, like, they're just comfortable with who they are, comfortable going into the play-in game and just doing what they do, just like they did out of the 8th seed last year, taking down Milwaukee right out of the gate. So it's a tough spot for, and Dallas cruised last night in Charlotte. So both teams traveling here off the back-to-back. Miami just went through way more last night, and even if they don't decide to rest any more guys, they're not in a great spot off double overtime going up against a Mavericks team here. Dallas is one of the better road teams against the spread in the NBA. Dallas is 10-3 ATS on the second night of a back-to-back. They've been pretty good there. Out to 5.5. I'm okay with that on Dallas. I think that this one could get away from Miami a little bit.
And quickly here, Julian, final 90 seconds here. Suns lost last night at home to the Clippers. They were down 35-4. No Kawhi, no James Harden. It's astonishing that we're even talking about this. Now they play again tonight in LA. Suns are laying 3. Is this the night to bet the Suns, or do you want to stay away?
My feel for the Suns over the last couple weeks has been about as bad as you can have a feel for.
Not as bad as me.
I've probably been betting them all the same games as you. When I back them, I lose. When I fade them, I lose. It doesn't matter. I was on them last night at a great number, and I could not believe the score when I checked in. I might be crazy enough to bet them again tonight. I like them tonight. Are you really going to come out and do that again after what just happened last night in this big of a game? And the only question is, does losing that game like that just kind of put you to bed? But they have to fight to stay out of the play-in.
Yeah. If you lose this tonight, you might as well just have the tee times booked and ready to go.
Yeah,
I mean,
seriously. Yeah. So I think I'm going to be on Suns -3. This is my last try. If they cannot do this, then I don't know. But like betting Suns games, I've just been beating lines by 6-7 points and losing multiple times.
I know it. Julian, great spot. Everybody can catch your show called The Sweat, weekday mornings, 8 Eastern time, right here on VSiN and DraftKings Network. Thanks, pal. Good luck tonight.
All right, thanks, guys. We're going to need the luck in the NBA these days.
Yeah. I know. He was on the progressive guest line. Pauly runs down line moves, bad beats, upsets next, win-lose.
Last night? Wow, winning. Or was it a rough one?
Well, they can't all be winners, can they?
Loser! You're a loser! Pauly Howard recaps the night in sports betting in Win Some, Lose Some.
Incredible night in sports. Welcome to the last week of the NBA season. The Bucks plus 1.5 went off a 3-point favorite, covered no problem against Boston. The Mavericks from 10.5 up to 13, and the over 219.5 to 224. 130 to 104. No problem there. Rockets, Magic over, 211 up to 216. 118-106 Houston. The Pacers from 8 up to 14. They were down big early, but covered. I think they scored 120 points in the last 3 quarters. The Knicks from 2 up to 5. Brunson does it again. The Knicks do it again. They win 128 to 117. The Spurs from 2.5 up to 6. Beat Memphis by 15. The Warriors, +2, went off the favorite, the over 232, up to 236. They beat the Lakers, and they hit 26 threes in the game. OKC from 2 up to 5.5. They were down 20. They covered. The Clippers were +350 on the money line. They also clinched the division last night. First to 10 prop comes in. The Dodgers were +270 at DraftKings. The Yankees were 19-1.
19-1.
Johnny Avello said they wrote incredible business on it, over 10,000 bets. People couldn't get enough of that prop. Awesome market.
Yeah, I'm a big fan.
Yep. White Sox 2-1. They won. Hockey, Tampa Bay Lightning, $3 up to $3.60. And the New York Rangers, thanks to Jonathan Davis, 13-1 overrun. 13 of their last 14 gone over 5.5 goals. And they lost last night. I would not want to see the Islanders in the first round of the playoffs, who are hot. Soccer. Horrible loss by Leicester City. Millwall +450. It's Championship League. Leeds. Sunderland draw +430. Carlisle United +350 in League One. How about Champions League?
The goals?
3-3 and 2-2. So much for the first legs are usually unders. Arsenal, Bayern Munich, draw 3-1. Man City, Real Madrid +240. Subscribe, be part of the team, vsin.com. Our radio and podcast friends, you always want to see these tweets and videos. To check out all the videos, what we usually do, Pauly Does Vegas on Instagram. Pauly Does Vegas on Instagram. How about the pit bull with the stick here? This is an all-timer. Look at the size of this stick that he finds. Come in.
Oh, that's a full tree. That's a trunk.
Right, yeah, right. That's your big boy here. I can't tell how big the dog is. But that is, where did he find this thing? And it's like a teeter-totter. It's coming down. Oh, I'm going to tip over. Right?
It's got to be 8 feet long.
Yeah. And he's got it the whole time. Pitter-patter.
This is what I play with right here.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I'm a big boy.
And he's out there, and there's plenty of room. Not a care in the world. And now I'm entertained. I'm all set.
Hey, buddy, I asked for the big one.
Uh-huh.
Come on.
That's right. That's great. Augustine sent this in. The only game in town. Ultimate X. He sat down right away. He's playing dollar double-double. He gets dealt 3s and a kicker 4 times, $3,200.
Oh, damn.
Good for you.
Dealt.
That's right.
Beautiful.
That is awesome. Send it in. We'll put you on television. Lose some. Hard to believe. But the Suns from 3.5 up to 9.5. Never a game. I put it on. I couldn't believe it. 35-4 late in the first quarter, Clippers. Guardians 195 up to 245. No good. Pelicans from 10 up to 14. They won by 10. And what happened to the Philadelphia Flyers? They lost 9-3 to Montreal. They've lost 8 in a row. They were shooing for the playoffs. They're out.
Yeah, this is
nuts.
It's basically an all-time spiral job.
It is. Total choke job. Lost 8 in a row and getting hammered every night. They play the Rangers tomorrow. That's not going to go well. Couple lose some videos. Here's the picture. We can't show videos and highlights. Here's Torrey Craig last night on a 3-on-0. He throws the ball off the backboard. He's going to dunk it. And Drummond thinks it's for him. Like, why would a guy do that to himself? Drummond, blocks his own shot in the dunk. And I think Drummond got hurt later in the game. Look at Torrey Craig's face. As I'm going to throw it off the backboard and throw it down. Oh, my teammate blocks my shot.
Yep, missed it. The dunk, obviously.
Yeah.
So, also, bad job by Torrey Craig. The alley-oop to himself off the backboard. He was throwing it up there for Victor Wembanyama on stilts.
Yeah, well, that too.
It was 20 feet high.
Yeah, if it all goes as planned, I don't even know if he throws it down.
What is Drummond doing?
I don't know. Well, what's Craig doing?
By just going for the dunk.
Come on. You're not up 30 in a Final Four game.
Right. It's not. You have 2 minutes left in the game.
You're under 500. It's the first half of a regular season game. And you're out here like it's the Globetrotters.
His look.
Yes, look at that. What just happened? Let's go to Boston, Fenway. Lose some. O'Neal's home run off the windshield. Man, that's going to be a problem, right? Imagine that's happened to you, right? Baseball practice?
It did. High school. Yeah, it went through the garage in a guy's house, and he had a commode out in the garage that broke his toilet, and he was not happy with the school.
Yeah. Well, the only highlight for the Red Sox.
Hey, side note, Tyler O'Neill has 6 home runs.
Oh, really?
Getting a lot of messages from those watching the show on Nesson saying he's built for this park.
Okay.
Remember, he's the guy that I made a big case for to have most home runs 2 years ago.
That's right. I was
and he hit one on opening day, and then he got hurt, and it was no chance. But
all right. Well, whiskey and a revolver. Here come your bad beats. So I mentioned what that first 10 prop was. Well, peekaboo. Now, it is graded as a dead heat, but the Pirates played an afternoon game.
Mm-hmm.
Their reliever blew it again. They booed him off the field. They were 55-1 first to 10. That would have been their 10th win.
Wow.
That would have been the 10th win for the Pirates.
Well,
so not only do they blow the game, they blow the prop, and you blow a big ticket too.
He was also like automatic last year as the closer, Bednar, for the Pirates.
Yeah.
This means because they brought in Chapman this year to be the setup guy, I'm guessing Chapman's going to get a look at the closer spot now very soon.
Braves run line, $1.10. Led 6-0 in the 8th. Are you kidding me?
Oy.
They won 6-5. Twins, Dodgers under 8. 6-0 in the 8th, 6-1 in the 9th. Goes over. Cillian Murphy's been good for the Dodgers.
14 strikeouts?
Yeah. Now, can you trust him in like Game 7? That's a different discussion.
Well, is he going to be healthy in June?
Yeah, well, okay, fair. But he's going to be great for the Dodgers. Action-packed fight card taking over Las Vegas, UFC 300. DraftKings Sportsbook, official sports betting partner of the UFC. You can turn $5 into $150 instantly in bonus bets. Download the app, promo code VSiN when you sign up. Great job, guys. I'm losing my mind here. This is so absurd with the Wembanyama stuff. You retweeted it last night. Memphis has a 3-on-1. They don't even get a shot off. The intimidation factor, and Wembanyama single-handedly stops a 3-on-1 break.
Oh, I've never seen anything like it before in my life. No, if you have not seen this, folks, at Mitch Moss Radio on Twitter, you can find it wherever today. You're exactly right. It's a 3-on-1. Wemby's the only guy back for the Spurs. It looks like there are kids out there. The Grizzlies are kids not knowing what to do against a full-grown adult. Like, I don't, here, you take the ball. I don't want the ball. You take it. No, I don't want to shoot a 3. Well, then don't take a layup. Then who's ever been able to do that defensively? Wilt Chamberlain? Does that video exist?
Yep.
Paul,
that doesn't make any sense.
None.
And I'm sick and tired of hearing about, well, look at his team. Look, record has nothing to do with this award.
It's an individual award.
Yeah. Coach of the year? Yeah, record matters. MVP? Record matters. Defensive player of the year? Means nothing. That's like me saying Wembanyama should win it because Obear can't score and has no offensive game. Doesn't mean it. It's irrelevant. Steals per game, Wembanyama 1.3, Gobert 0.6. Blocks per game, Wembanyama 3.5, Rudy 2.1. Deflections per game, 3 to 1.5. Games with 7+ blocks, Wemby 8, career. Wemby 8, Gobert 7. Games played, 70 to 754.
There you go.
Defensive rebound percentage, Wembanyama. Blocks and steals a game. Blocks and steals for the season, rather. Wembanyama 332, Gobert 196. He's also played 5 minutes per game less than Gobert. This is absolutely absurd.
It makes me want to break things.
He should be favored.
Of course he should.
He should be favored, and he's 10-1.
Yeah, he should be the runaway favorite to win this. It should be automatic. It should be like people should be scoffing at others making the case for Rudy Gobert to be Defensive Player of the Year. It's not even close. It's not even, yet this guy can't win it based on the market. I say this, I think I've done this now for 2 years in a row. This might be the one, and I don't even stand to win money, that much money on this award. Pauly is the one who does. On principle alone, this one might swear me off betting certain individual awards in the NBA.
Yeah. Every stat points to him. And the only thing with Gobert people is, well, they're number one in defense. Switch places.
I've been saying it for 3 months.
He is surrounded by trash. They are all-time bad when he's not on the floor. Uh-huh. They're top 5 when he's on the floor. Yep. And all you have to do is show people that video from last night.
And that's it. Yep. All right, up next, friend of the show, golf bettor and handicapper Jeff Seeley on the program. So many ways to bet on the Masters. We'll start with some of the props, hole-in-one, top debutante, top Asian, top live players, Tiger props. He's made the cut 23 out of 25 Masters, all of it next here on VSiN.